Hello, everybody, and welcome to our show today. I'm really glad everybody could join us. So today we're going to be diving into a topic that everybody needs to know a lot about, because if you're at all interested in getting business credit, if you're interested in getting business loans and credit lines, then I'm about to reveal one of the best kept secrets that the lending industry has, so you know how this whole system works. So where all the information that's ending up on your business credit reports and that lenders and credit issuers are using to decline your applications is actually come from. So today what we're going to do is we're really going to dive in and decode the Small Business Finance Exchange. This is a hidden data warehouse that lenders use to basically cross-check your applications to see if you should be approved or denied for financing. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ty Crandall. I'm actually the CEO here at Credit Suite. And at Credit Suite, this is what we do. We help businesses become fundable. We help businesses build business credit and get access to credit lines and loans. And along the way, we reveal a lot of this kind of information that prevents a lot of the people that we see from getting loans, where if some things were easily fixed, they could qualify. So let's start with the basics. What is the Small Business Finance Exchange? So the SBFE is a not-for-profit entity that gathers data on small businesses from its members. The data is then used to compile comprehensive credit information about those businesses. So first of all, as a business owner, you need to know about the SBFE, because what this is a large data warehouse that's getting information from its members, which you'll learn about in a minute, are lenders, and then using that data to basically put together a comprehensive credit file information on your business. Lenders then use that information to make all kinds of credit decisions, including whether you should be approved or denied, rates and terms that you'll pay as well. Now, the SBFE does not lend money. Okay, but it does not create or distribute credit reports either. So this is one of the reasons you need to know about this, because this isn't some credit report that you're going to be able to go and get. The reality is this information is collected by this organization for the sole purpose of lenders being able to know information about you that you don't necessarily know that they do know. So how does it work? Well, it's basically a gift to get model. So members provide information about their borrowers. And again, before we get into the definition of members, it's pretty simple. These are lenders. So in order to be a lender or a member of the Small Business Finance Exchange, you have to do two things. You have to be a lender. You have to be in the business of lending money to businesses. And second, you also need to give the information to get it. So what happens is lenders provide all the details of the application data, all the information they have on their borrowers, and in return, they can then receive information from the overall exchange. They can get the information that other lenders have provided as well. So this information then helps them make future lending decisions. Now, what happens is this is basically a four-step process. So it starts with members reporting credit data from companies they do business with. So again, when you hear of a member of the SBFE, a member is just simply a lender. So what happens is the first step, it starts with the lenders report your information from companies or from companies they do business with, which could be you. So let's give a real example here. Let's say that you go to Bank of America and you apply for a business loan. What you may not know is that all that information from your application goes to Bank of America that then gives it to Small Business Finance Exchange. And this is, again, one of the reasons so many applications get denied. Okay, a lot of people don't realize is that most applications are denied for business loans, about 90%. Here's what most people don't know. Probably half or more of those, from all the statistics I've looked at, are denied not because you didn't qualify. They're denied because they think it's fraud. And that's one of the biggest obstacles that lenders have, is that they're dealing with these applications that they believe are fraudulent. So they deny them as a result of them thinking that they're fraudulent. Why do they think they're fraudulent? Simple. Because information you're putting on the application doesn't match what they have access to. What access do they have? This is where it all comes from. So the Small Business Finance Exchange is a data warehouse that takes all this information of not only how you perform on loans, but all the information you're putting on the loan applications. They house all this data. Then other lenders that you're applying with go into this data warehouse and get all of this other data to match it against your application, in large part to determine if there's potential fraud. Is the information you're putting on the application match what they're getting from the Small Business Finance Exchange? Now, this includes your payment history, amongst many other things, including all information on your application. Now, the SBFE then normalizes what they call normalizes the raw data, which basically puts it in a format that it's consumable by their members that want it, other lenders. And next, the information is distributed to certified vendors. Okay, now, who are certified vendors? These are the credit bureaus. So a lot of people ask this, where does the information on my business credit reporting come from? Where are they getting it? In large part, they are getting data as well from the Small Business Finance Exchange. They're referred to as vendors. So this includes credit agencies that have a partnership with the SBFE. So certified vendors then use the information to create comprehensive credit products for distribution to SBFE members. Okay, so let's look at this. So lenders are all part of an organization, secret organization, the Small Business Finance Exchange. Okay, probably have never heard of it, so that's why we call it secret. So the SBFA has all these members, which are lenders, and in order to be a member, you have to be a lender, lend a business lending money. You have to be willing to give all the information you have on your borrowers to this data warehouse. This data warehouse, the SBFA, then collects all this data. They go through the raw data and make it into a point where it's digestible. And then their vendors, which are the reporting agencies, the business credit reporting agencies, are basically coming in. They're also accessing that data. That data is part of what goes on to their business credit reports. And then they're creating credit products that you're then turning around and buying from them. So not only is this data being used by lenders to make all kinds of lending decisions, it's also being used by what they call vendors, which are the reporting agencies, which is what you see put on your credit report. So for example, if you see SIC codes that don't add up, if you see different names and addresses for your business, different addresses, where's all this information coming from? In large part, it's coming from the SBFE. It's information you supplied on an application at one point in time. And then as a result, it went into this data warehouse that the bureaus are then pulling it out of and putting it onto your credit report. So how does this affect you? Well, much more to do with business than how and when they make payments, okay? So it's a lot more than just how and when you make payments. This isn't just like your payment history is what's tracked there. Every data point, every line item you're putting on an application is there. So for example, have you ever filled out an application and maybe you filled out that your revenue was 15 grand and then or your projected revenue was 15 grand. And the next time you go in to fill out another application and you put your projected revenues 25,000. Maybe that you're not trying to do something that you shouldn't be doing. Maybe you know that you've raised the projected estimate of your revenue. You have to know that the data you're putting on one application is going into a data warehouse that other lenders are also accessing that same information. So making consistent on-time payments is obviously essential, and not doing so for a period of time does not always tell the whole story. SBFA paints a more complete picture to creditors so they're better informed. So again, it's not just your payment history. It's not just how you pay your bills. It's everything that they can get, all the data that lenders have about your loan performance, when you were late, how late you were, the payments that you were late, when you decided to pay, how you rectified that, even to do with all the information on your application. All of this goes into this data, or it goes into this data warehouse. So the mission is to advocate for the safe and secure growth of small business. That is what they're trying to do. So it's interesting, again, because we talk about, look at their mission. Advocate for the safe and secure growth of small business. So what they're really doing here is, again, they're trying to make sure that they are helping lenders. Well, there's a lot of purposes, but one is to, as I mentioned, to prevent fraud. So by making sure that your information is safe and secure, by making sure that the information that is being sent is accurate, is what their sole mission is, to protect the data and also make sure that the data that's out there about your business is accurate. Okay, so it can help you build business credit as well, because doing business with SBFE members, i.e. lenders, then carries over to your business credit reports. So then they know your information is being reported, positive information reporting, building business credit. So the bottom line is, when you're doing business with lenders, which most lenders report to SBFE, then it also can help you if they do, because those lenders are reporting your data, including payment history, into SBFE, and then the bureaus will pull that data out. And sometimes this is what ends up getting reported onto your business credit reports. So they can also help you grow your business, because better business credit allows for more opportunities, obviously, to access funding as well. Okay, so a lot of benefits that they provide you here, and these funds then can be used to grow and expand. So you may have increased funding options as well, because the data available about your business from the Small Business Finance Exchange could open up additional funding opportunities that may not be available to you otherwise. So again, this is what controls all your data. And as a result of that, can also open up, but it can also close opportunities for you as well. Now, they can help the lenders and credit issuers make better lending decisions. So if the lenders join the SBFE, okay, then again, what happens is they then are able to make better lending decisions because they're accessing more information about your business, which, by the way, you need to know this is the future of our lives, right? Right now, what's happened is there's all these third-party data sources that are collecting every piece of data they can collect on you. And then what's being happened is that data is being sold to people that are basically creating major and massive databases with your information. This is the new norm. Okay, so as a matter of fact, I just got a text today from one of my mentors that asked exactly the same thing. And this is exactly what it read. It read, hey, have you heard of Putler.com? P-U-T-L-E-R, Putler.com, that integrates with Authorized Debt. It allows you to use big data on your customers to segment audiences. This is exactly what's happening. These type of data warehouses exist. They're gathering data from all data points across the web, all third-party sources they can get information about you. They're congregating it into one single database. Then that information is being sold to anybody that will buy the information. And then what's happening is a lot of companies are then building internal databases. So when you come in and opt in, for example, to get a free guide, well, then what happens is you're into a company's database, and sure, maybe they have your first name and email. But what you may not know is then they are paying a data warehouse to then go in and get all of the data that's linked to that email address. So even though you think a company may only have your first name and email, the reality is that because they're buying data from third-party data sources, they have tremendous amounts of information from you and everything that links back to that address or the email address, for example. So SBFE has been around for a long time. And this has been going on in lending for a long time, but we're starting to see this move to the forefront where your data is being collected and even sold by third parties, which is not what SBFE does. Their purpose is to gather the data and make it available to other lenders or their members. But again, this process is something that's getting your data out to more people than you've ever known before, which is why you have increased phone calls and all these other things happening. So who can become a member? Well, anyone has the ability to report their small business lending information can become a member. Members include all types of lending institutions, including banks, credit unions, and alternative lenders as well. Now, who are certified vendors? Well, these are agencies that have a partnership with the SBFE, okay? They distribute the data they receive from the SBFE. So think of it like this. Small Business Finance Exchange, you'll never get their data. You can't because you're not a member. If you were a lender, you'd be a member and access it, but you're not a member because you're not a lender. So what happens is the credit bureaus, again, go in and get that data, put it into a format that you recognize from the credit reports, and that's the only way you can tap into this information that's already out there. Now, they do this by creating credit analysis products using the information that they get from the Small Business Finance Exchange. Then report the data to members who request a credit report on a business that's not included. So again, not only is this for you to access your own business credit report, but you have to keep in mind, business credit reports aren't designed for you to know what's going on. Business credit reports are designed for lenders and credit issuers to look at to make lending and credit issuing decisions. So that's what's more important is this data is getting put on reports, and then it's also supplied to lenders and credit issuers, even the ones that are not members of the Small Business Finance Exchange. So the bottom line is you have to worry about non-members as well, because the bureaus or the vendors are pulling the data from the Small Business Finance Exchange, putting it onto credit reports and selling those to other lenders and credit issuers that are using that to make lending decisions, including should you be approved or denied, should you pay what term, and what interest rate should you pay. So they really control whether you get approved in the terms that you're going to pay. Now, certified vendors include Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet. Most recently, LexisNexis Risk Solutions is also a certified vendor, okay? And again, we are partnered with LexisNexis and are creating a front-facing credit score right now where you can actually compare the information that they have against what you actually have entered to see what's right and what's wrong, and to see what's accurate per their data and what's not accurate. So again, up to currently, there's no way to get this SBFE data. That's why we partner with LexisNexis, because they have access to all of it to get all of the data they're pulling, and then in the months to come, into 2019, put it into a format where you're able to cross-check what you are putting on an application and see if that's what is in the Small Business Finance Exchange, what bureaus like LexisNexis actually have, or if it's different. So again, and the reason for this being so important is because I cannot state this enough. Most loan applications are not denied because you don't qualify. They're denied because the lenders are concerned that there's possible fraud. That's what's happening. What's happening is, think of it as two rows, two columns. And in the left column is all the data that you're putting into a computer system when you're applying for credit or financing. That's all the data you're filling out on the application. They take your data in the left column, and then they pull up the data from the Small Business Finance Exchange in the right column. And then what they're literally doing is comparing the left and the right, what you entered and what they have, to see if they're accurate or not. If they see the business name's a little off, the address is off, and these data points don't match, then what happens is their computers will, in a lot of cases, automatically spit out denials. So this is really shocking information that most business owners have no clue of. They think when they apply and get denied financing that it's because they don't have the revenue or they have a credit issue. And don't get me wrong, those things contribute to denials. But again, one of the biggest driving factors of denials in the lending space is the risk of potential fraud. And if there's anything that they think isn't accurate and they think there may be potential fraud, the default is automatic denial, which is why this is so important to know where they're getting their information from. Now, other credit agencies are available to lenders, but when they are a member of the SBFE and utilize one of these certified vendors, they get the benefit of the vendor's own information plus that from the data received from the SBFE. So again, you know, if you apply for a credit card company and they're getting your Dun & Bradstreet credit report, the benefit of Chase getting that credit report is that not only, or let's say Chase, the benefit of that is that not only are they getting the data from the business credit report of payment history and things like that, that D&B knows because you're paying vendors that report to them, they're also getting the added benefit of getting all the information that's in the Small Business Finance Exchange as well. So they win, and the bureaus win that provide that information. So remember, it works both ways. So doing business with members or lenders of this exchange can help you. It can also hurt you if you do things improperly. So if you're doing business with the SBFE lenders that are members of the SBFE, then you eliminate the potential to not have any business credit. However, if you do not handle your business properly, the report members are getting about your business may not be favorable. So again, making sure payment history is correct, making sure you have congruency on all your applications, making sure you double check everything before you actually send it in. All of these things become very important to open up opportunities for you, not close doors, okay? Members contract to report both positive and negative information. This is the way that it is if you get any data in a data warehouse like the Small Business Finance Exchange and also the credit bureaus. So we report our customers' payments to CreditSafe, for example. And the way that that works with CreditSafe is that we have to report all positive and negative payments. We have to give them an actual report every month that's just our raw data that we haven't cherry picked to pick out the people that don't make payments. So the benefit to our clients is that our clients and partners get the benefit of building a really high dollar amount trade line on their business credit report. The drawback is that we can't help them if they pay late. Payments have to be reflected as they are. So that's the way anybody that collects data, including the bureaus, is they're not going to let you just only report negative or positive. They must report both. So what kind of data do they have? Well, identifying information, your business name, your DUNS number, your EIN, your address, your SIC code, okay? So I see this stuff all the time. So for example, I had somebody that went on Facebook Live. We go live on Facebook every Wednesday at 4. And somebody had asked the question. They said, I just got denied for a Staples credit card. The weird thing is the reason for the denial is they said that my phone number doesn't match what's in their records. How do I know what's in their records? Well, they got the record more than likely from the SBFE. So that's a perfect reason for denial. The SBFE literally turned down that business because the phone number that was on the application wasn't the same as what was in their database. It could be potential fraud, so the application got denied. Now, here's what's interesting. Most cases, they won't tell you the specific reason for the denial because they don't want you to go fix it. If it is potential fraud, they don't want to say, well, we denied your application because your business name wasn't spelled the same as what we have and the address and the phone number were different, because they're worried you're going to fix the spelling, fix the address, fix the phone, and reapply. So they're not going to tell you that they're denying you because of fraud, and they're not going to tell you what was off, because if they do, then you have the possibility to go fix it, which prevents the whole issue that they're trying to fix. So every one of these, we've seen people with issues. DUNS number, multiple credit reports reported because people were reporting different addresses on applications. Those addresses get submitted to Small Business Finance Exchange. Dun & Bradstreet creates multiple credit reports based on those different addresses and even DUNS numbers. Okay, EINs being wrong, addresses getting denied because the address that you have on an application doesn't match what they have. SIC codes, I see this all the time, where what happens is you supply an SIC code, it goes into SBFE, and then all of a sudden, all the other lenders are denying you because that SIC code is in the Small Business Finance Exchange. And that's what happens. We see this happen all the time. So I see people denied because, again, they're in a high-risk industry, but they've tried to select an SIC code that reflects they're not. The problem is they didn't select the right SIC code right from the beginning. So if you're in the beginning part of your business, find the SIC code that fits you best. Figure it out. Figure out what your NAICS code is. What best fits your business? Is that high risk? Is that low risk? And move forward with that all the time. Every application you fill out, your tax returns, everything should have that same NAICS, because if you don't have that same code, then the problem is that it can come in and you can end up finding an SIC on your credit report that's not what you want it to be because you changed it somewhere along the line. They also have both positive and negative payment information, the limits on your credit accounts, okay, payment information on lease payments, credit card payment history. So all of that is in the SBFE. All of your payments, your limits, okay, how you do on leases, how you do on loan payments, all the information that's on your applications that you're submitting, all of this data is what gets submitted. So what should you do? Well, as a small business, you're responsible for your business credit. You control what info ends up on that report. I cannot say this enough. The reason that I talk so much about the credit bureaus, the reason that I talk so much about the Small Business Finance Exchange and LexisNexis and what happens behind the scenes in lending is because you control it. Most of what's happening is on you. It's the information you're filling out on these applications. You fill out a quick online application, speed through and enter the details. You don't know the repercussions of that because that data is stored indefinitely in these data warehouses that's being accessed for years and years by these bureaus and by the actual lenders, credit issuers, these banks that are the ones that are behind giving you the money. So you need to make sure that you control that information that they have, okay? So pay your bills consistently on time. Do business with lenders that are part of the SBFE. How do you know? Ask them. Okay. Now, all the big banks are, but a lot of the alternative lenders aren't. So ask them. Okay. Now, does that help you, hurt you? Well, you tell me. Okay. I have a credit report that we're doing a webinar tonight. I'm going to show as an example where the person's being recommended for $70,000 of revolving credit. That's what they're telling credit issuers to give this individual business. The reason is because they got a loan that was on their credit report for $65,000. That's part of the reason that happened. So the reason that happened is because they got the loan from an SBFE member that reported that data. So again, when you get loans with SBFE members, you have a good chance, just like I said in that example, of the loan showing up on your business credit report. And that helps you tremendously because in large part, the amount of money you're recommended from the credit reporting agencies, which by the way, Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian all have a credit limit recommendation. What they tell lenders and credit issuers you should be given. And trust me, they would not put it on the business credit reports if lenders and credit issuers weren't using that data to make the decisions, right? So these credit issuers' computers are looking at your recommended credit when determining how high your limits should be. So if you have a $50,000 loan, the worst thing you would want to have happen is not have that $50,000 loan show up on your business credit report. Because if you have that $50,000 loan on your business credit report, all of a sudden there's a real possibility that your credit limit recommendation can shoot up from like 2,000 to like 50,000, because now they show that you're paying a $50,000 loan as agreed. So doing business with people that report, and it's worth asking them if they do, is very important. And by the way, you're probably not going to ask a front end rep and get an answer here. You probably might have to have them go to an underwriter to find out, does my information get reported to the Small Business Finance Exchange? Okay, the typical front end sales rep's not going to know it, but typically when they go to underwriting, the underwriter is going to know the answer to that, and that's going to help you determine if you're building business credit on top of getting the loan. Okay, now if the businesses you currently do business with are not members, we'll encourage them to join. Okay, again, it's give to get. From what I understand, I don't think there's a fee for them to join. It's just a matter that they have to be willing to give the information in order to get it. So join the SBFE if you're eligible, which would only apply if you're a lender. Remember, you can't self-report your own information, but by joining, you make better credit decisions for your business. Look, if you are somebody that's in the business of lending money or issuing credit to other people, well, then try looking at reporting yourself. You can't track your own data, but you can at least come in and get the data to make better credit decisions. And some credit, if you're lacking in that area, can also be established. So this can include the vendor credit tier, okay, business credit cards. So remember, some of the credit also, and most of the time, you're not going to see revolving credit information come from SBFE to go to your business credit reports, okay? But again, it can help you in this area by building credit with sources that do report it in the SBFE. And then, of course, monitor your business credit report. So we have a great link at creditsuite.com/monitoring that's about ready to change possibly in the next week, where we've actually partnered with a reporting agency that now will take your existing payments, including utilities, for the first time in the history of business credit reporting, and add them to your Credit Safe and your Experian business credit reports. Now, right now, if you go to creditsuite.com/monitoring, you're able to get DMB and Experian reports for only $24 through our NAV integration. We are about in the next week or so to roll out an additional product where you can get all that and get your Credit Safe reports and add items to Credit Safe and Experian. So keep an eye on that. Don't want to monitor with us? No big deal. Go directly to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, and get the reports from them. It's a lot more expensive, but you can get the reports from them as well to monitor your business credit reports. Now, there are a couple of ways, as I mentioned, to monitor the reports. You can get reports from any of the reporting agencies. You can join a credit monitoring service. Like, again, you can get at creditsuite.com/monitoring, and this gives you continuous access to the information in the report. Guys, look, to monitor DMB and Experian for $24 is a no-brainer. If you go to DMB Direct and spend $150 and Experian $50, it's $200 a month. Then it kind of becomes something you may not want to do. But it makes perfect sense, as cheap as it is, to at least see what's going on in your business credit report. Because remember, what you just learned, what's on your report aren't necessarily the accounts you're out there getting that you know are reporting. It's all of this other data coming from the SBFE that can make it to those reports as well. And again, you could do that at creditsuite.com/monitoring. So remember, use the information you get. Look for ways to build your business credit and report any mistakes. It's important that you do both. You need to focus on fixing business credit. You're making sure that the information that you have is up to date and accurate. And you also need to make sure that you're building business credit, that you're getting credit with credit issuers that you know report, that you're doing business with lenders that you know report, because that's what's going to build your business credit reports. And guys, it's just a lovely world when you do. Okay, I was just talking to one of my buddies that fixed one item on his business credit report, got it corrected. Okay, and he's one of our partners and clients that we work with closely. Turned around, got a $350,000 SBA loan, 8% rate for 10 years. Pretty cool. Okay, what a lot of us want. But it came down to the fact that not only has he built his business credit, which is a requirement with SBA, but he also fixed the inaccuracy to make sure that he could get it. So fixing one inaccuracy pushed him over the edge of probably not even being able to get approved to then being able to secure a $350,000 loan as a result. So send the reporting agency a detailed explanation of what's incorrect, what's the correct information, and copies of all supporting documents if you're challenging it. Dun & Bradstreet, you can challenge stuff for free through a free service. They call it iUpdate. Experian and Equifax, you pretty much have to pay for their credit monitoring. Then they give you the ways to do it through their platform or have you mail it in. Okay, that's the dispute process. But It does take a little bit of time to dispute, but usually the items you dispute will get removed from the credit report. So by offering a more complete credit picture to lenders, the SBFE ensures that more businesses have the financing available that they need to grow. As businesses grow, more businesses can be born. So it's a win-win for everybody. So the SBFE is not doing anything to try to hurt you. The whole point of what they believe they're doing is actually helping you. They're congregating all the information and making it easier for lenders and credit issuers to access it, with the idea and hope that because it's easily attainable, that it makes it easier for you to get financing as well. Okay. So if you want to contact the SBFE, well, general inquiries and questions about credit information can go through their online form right here. SBFE.org. Well, you should probably do www.sbfe, short for Small Business Finance Exchange.org /contact-SBFE. And that will give you, or I should say hyphen, SBFE. Go here to start the membership process. SBFE.org /membership. Remember, if you are not issuing money, if you're not lending money, you are not going to be a member of the SBFE. And also remember, you can't get your own data. Okay, it's only going to help you access other people's data to make other credit lending decisions. So a lot of you are business owners, and a lot of you extend credit to customers, so it can help you in that right. And you can also contact via social media on Facebook or LinkedIn as well. So to recap, SBFE, non-for-profit. They collect data. They are a data warehouse on businesses. They compile the information for their members, which are lenders. And in order for somebody to be a member, they have to be willing to provide all information about their customers in order to get information from other members about their customers. Does not create or distribute credit reports. You're never going to get a credit score report from the SBFE. Remember, that data comes from vendors, such as the bureaus who put it into a report format. So now you know one of the best kept secrets in business lending. You know where they actually get their data. You know where they're getting the data that's being used to make all kinds of lending decisions about you. You're understanding where the information that they're believing that what you're submitting is fraud because it doesn't match what you're entering is coming from. So you can make sure that all the information that goes in there is congruent to have the best chance of getting approved, because lenders and credit issuers don't think that your application is fraud when everything lines up, when all I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you have any other questions along the way about building business credit, about getting financing, then reach out to us and let us know. 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. Again, there are 3 things we do here at Credit Suite. We improve your fundability by looking in and doing things like checking your information against what's in Secretary of State and these other areas to make sure it's accurate. Okay, and what the lenders and credit issuers see. Small fixes. We specialize in doing a lot of small fixes that go from people getting denied to approved, because they don't understand that the reason they got denied had nothing to do with revenue and all these other things. That had to do with incongruent information. We also help with all aspects of building business credit, taking years of that process, condensing it to only months. And we also work with every legitimate type of funding program through 1,000+ lenders to make sure that you have access to the most amount of money through loans and credit lines as well. So if we can ever help you along the way of getting access to capital to fund your business, let us know. And don't forget to access more of our free training at the top right of our website, creditsuite.com. There you can access us on iTunes to listen as you go. You can make sure that you join us on YouTube, where we go live every single Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern, except if it's a crazy holiday like Christmas. And then you can also access us on Facebook Live, where we do every 4 o'clock at Wednesday, where you can ask questions. You and I are talking back and forth, and I'm answering questions with you in real time, only format where that's possible. And there you can also access places like our Instagram and Twitter, where we have daily tips. So make sure you check us out so we can help you with being more fundable, with building your business credit and getting financing for your business. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.